This is Shuttle Launch Control, T-minus 3 hours in holding, and we are at the astronaut quarters in the crew suit-up room where we see our Commander Scott Altman being fitted with his helmet. And our pilot, Greg Johnson, also going through the same activities and some verifications of the pressurized launch and entry suits and being assisted with his gloves. And mission specialist Michael Good. There was Steve Lindsay, our chief of the astronaut here at KSC. Drew Feustel. All of these crew members suiting up and looking forward to some very lengthy EVAs on this flight. 6.5 hours on average. Going across the room now. And that is John Grunsfeld. And he is suited up with his helmet, ready to go. And we're coming over now to our mission specialist, Mike Massimino, waiting his helmet fit check. And down on the end here is our mission specialist, Megan MacArthur. And as we can see, most of the activities now are well along and almost complete. This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 2 hours, 56 minutes, 30 seconds, and we see the STS-125 Atlantis astronauts now are walking down the hallway led by our commander and pilot. Here we see astronaut Steve Lindsay, who will be flying weather reconnaissance today. Jerry Ross, who runs the astronaut office here at KSC. They are starting down the elevator to the astronaut transfer van. And here are the astronauts now walking out of the astronaut quarters, boarding the astronaut van. Got Altman now climbing on board. Here he comes through the hatch onto the flight deck from the lower crew cabin. We're joined now here in firing room 4 with astronaut Janice Voss. Once you're on board, and as we're seeing here, they're helping them strap into their seats and things. And is everyone very preoccupied with the activities that they have to do to get ready for the launch at this point, or are they thinking about more about what's coming up on orbit, or what's the mindset when you're getting ready to be, when you're being strapped in, getting ready to go?
A little bit of all of the above. There are duties that you have assigned that change with time, and so you're thinking ahead to make sure that you're ready for the next thing you're supposed to do. You also have a process you have to go through that includes comm checks that you need to get done in a smart fashion so you don't slow up the timeline. So right now they are very focused on just the seat stuff, but as soon as you get in your seat and they move on to the next person, then they're listening to all the communications that come in, all the ground launch sequencer stuff that's going on, and trying to monitor any issues that might be arising, might affect what they'll be doing next.
Who are some of the people that are on the White Room crew that are helping you folks in?
Typically, you'll have one person assigned for the mid-deck strap-in and one person for the flight deck strap-in to do the mechanical strap-in part, and then you'll have a second person helping with the comm checks on the mid-deck and the flight deck. You can see, I think, 2 people in white, on the flight deck at the moment helping with the process, and there would similarly be probably 2 people on the mid-deck until they're done.
Attention on the net, this is the NTD performing the launch status checks. Verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC. OTC go. TBC.
TBC's go.
PTC.
PTC is go.
LPS.
LPS is go.
Houston flight.
Houston flight is go.
Myla.
Myla is go.
STM.
STM is go.
Safety console.
Safety console is go.
SPE.
SP is go.
LRD.
LRD is go.
SRO.
SRO is go. You have a range clear to launch.
And CDR.
CDR and entire crew is go.
And I copy that. That completes step 1122. Launch Director, NTD.
Launch Director?
Yes, sir. Our launch team is ready to proceed. We are tracking no constraints.
Okay, I copy that. I'll do my poll at this time. KC Chief Processing Engineer, verify no constraints to launch. No constraints, Mike. Thank you, Steve. KC Safety and Mission Assurance. KC Safety and Mission Assurance is go. Copy. Payload Launch Manager. Mike, Hubble Program and Hubble Ground Processing are go for launch. Copy that. Thank you, Bill. Range Weather.
Weather has no constraints for launch.
Thank you, Kathy. And Ops Manager.
Mike, we've cleared our issues. The MMP isn't tracking anything else. Everything looks good. You're go to launch.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Atlantis Launch Director.
Hey, Atlantis, ready to copy, Launch Director.
Okay, Scooter. Well, look, it's a great day to go fly. So on behalf of the KSC Processing and Launch Team, I'd like to wish you, your crew, and the whole Hubble Space Telescope team a great mission. Good luck, Godspeed, and we'll see you back here in about 11 days.
Well, from the whole crew, Mike, I just want to say thank you. All I can really think is that at last our launch has come along. It's been a long time coming. I know it took the work of the entire team across our entire agency to bring us to this point. Looking back, it's been 50 years since President Kennedy challenged us to do the other thing, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. Getting to this point has been challenging, but your team, the whole team, everyone has pulled together. We're taking a little piece of all of us into space, and at this point, all I got left to say is let's launch Atlantis. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Scooter, and enjoy the ride, pal. NTD, Launch Director,
You got
you are clear to launch Atlantis.
I copy that, sir. The countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. T-minus 9 minutes and counting. DLS auto sequence has been initiated.
The ground launch sequencer now controlling the countdown. It will monitor over 1,000 parameters.
PRP adjusting screen brightness across the board.
Copy. EPD. DLS is go for orbiter access arm retract.
Atlantis OTC, best of luck upgrading the HST to increase our knowledge for light years to come.
OTC, Atlantis copies. We're looking forward to it, and we'll give it our best.
DLS is go for orbiter APU start.
PLT, perform APU start.
OTC PLT in work.
CDR, reconfigure heaters.
CDR is reconfigured work. And OTC PLT, 3 good APUs.
Copy.
To start the orbiter aerosurface profile test.
DLS is go for purge sequence 4.
PLT, clear caution warning memory, verify no unexpected errors.
OTC, PLT in work.
Handoff to Atlantis has occurred from the ground launch sequencer.
20.
Nozzle check of the SRBs. Firing chain is armed. Sound suppression water system armed. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis. A final visit to enhance the vision of Hubble into the deepest grandeur of our universe.
Bypass across the board, Scooter, no action.
Houston now controlling, Atlantis on its way. Atlantis on its way, all three engines now throttling down as the vehicle passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure.
Atlantis, Houston, no action on the MPS H2 out P.
Houston, we copy, no action.
Atlantis, go at throttle up.
Houston, Atlantis copies, go at throttle up.
7 miles in altitude. Altitude 49,000 feet. Flight control team discussing the minor transients that we're seeing at liftoff. All three engines are in good shape. The vehicle is headed downrange. All three hydraulic systems in good shape, as are the fuel cells. Atlantis is 18 miles and altitude, downrange 23 miles. Already traveling 2,500 miles per hour, approaching staging, the burnout of the twin solid rocket boosters, which have been burning fuel at a rate of about 11,000 pounds per second. Solid rocket boosters have done their job. Atlantis is continuing in its due easterly course to catch up with the Hubble Space Telescope one last time. Altitude 35 miles, downrange from the Kennedy Space Center 51 miles, altitude 195,000 feet. Atlantis is traveling 3,300 miles per hour. Again, all three main engines are in good shape, as are the hydraulic systems, the auxiliary power units, and the fuel cells. No issues heading to orbit.
Atlantis, 2-engine Maroon.
Houston, Atlantis copies, 2-engine Maroon.
3 minutes into the flight, Atlantis.
H2 out P is a deucer only, and the ASA-1 is a power only.
Copy, ASA-1 power only, and the H2 is deucer.
Atlantis, single-engine Banjul 104.
Copy, single-engine Banjul 104.
That call indicating that Atlantis could reach Banjul in the Gambia, although that is not a transoceanic abort landing site.
Atlantis, negative Maroon, select Banjul.
Houston, we copy. Negative Maroon, selecting Banjul.
Vehicle rolling to heads up now to get good communications through the tracking and data relay satellite system. 6 minutes, 25 seconds into the flight. Downrange from the launch site, 4,030 miles. Altitude, 353,000 feet, or about 67 miles.
Press 109.
Houston, we copy. Single engine press 109.
Your shutdown plan is nominal. You are go for the plus X and go for the pitch.
protocol indicates that Atlantis can reach orbit on one engine should two fail. Again, all three are in good shape. Approaching 7 minutes into the flight. The plus X is a maneuver that's conducted after the vehicle separates from the external fuel tank. These views from the camera on the feed line on the external fuel tank looking up at Atlantis. We'll lose that view here in about a minute or so.
And this is a replay of a video shot on board Atlantis earlier this afternoon of the external tank after separation. This video shot through the flight deck windows, the aft flight deck.
The first views of Atlantis's payload bay, the airlock in the foreground from which the 5 back-to-back spacewalks will be conducted. Just behind that, looking aft, you see the super lightweight interchangeable carrier that houses the new wide-field camera that will be installed on the telescope. Out of view behind that is the orbital replacement unit carrier, and then all the way at the back end of the payload bay is the flight support system. Another rack of change-out hardware for the telescope housed on the multi-use logistics equipment carrier in the very back of the payload bay. Along the left side on the right in this view, as the left-hand door comes open, is the shuttle's robotic arm. The remote manipulator system will be used extensively throughout the flight. Its first opportunity will be during a checkout a little bit later on the first day of the flight, and then throughout the second day of the flight it will grapple the extension boom, the orbiter boom sensor system you see on the along the right side of the payload bay and on the left in this view. That will be used to do an extensive survey of all of the thermal protection system, the tiles, and the reinforced carbon-carbon wing leading edge panels and nose cap, as well as some additional views back near the tail of the orbiter on either side, the orbital maneuvering system pods. The robotic arm throughout the mission will be operated most extensively by Megan MacArthur, as she's serving as the flight engineer and the lead robotics officer for the mission.
This is from a camera at the forward port side of the payload bay, right behind the crew cabin, looking aft along the length of the Space Shuttle's robotic arm. We're seeing the middle joint and then off to the end, and cameras located at that elbow as well as out at the hand. And there to see the view of the far end of the robotic arm, released from being restrained at the end. Soon there the same happening with the elbow of the robotic arm, and it's being raised from the shoulder by mission specialist Megan MacArthur. As is always the case on orbit, a dramatic sunrise which improves our view into the end effector of Atlantis's robotic arm. This is a view from the camera at the aft end of the payload bay on the port side, tilted up, looking into the business end of the robotic arm as mission specialists Megan MacArthur and Mike Massimino prepare to begin the survey of the payload bay and the various systems located in the payload bay for this Hubble Space Telescope servicing mission, including the flight support system, the platform upon which Hubble will be berthed, and the several racks which are bringing up the new equipment and will bring home the old equipment. Those include the super lightweight interchangeable carrier, the orbital replacement unit carrier, and the multi-use logistic equipment carrier. The survey of the payload bay will also take a look at the other items standard inside the shuttle payload bay, including the tool support assemblies, which are either side of the airlock, which in this case is out in the payload bay of the shuttle as well. This upcoming survey of Atlantis's crew cabin is part of the flight plan on this flight because there is no rendezvous pitch maneuver imagery available, as there has been on each previous space shuttle flight since the loss of Columbia. On all of those rendezvous with the International Space Station, shuttle commanders have flown up to a distance of some 600 feet below the International Space Station and then performed a head-over-tail backflip to expose the underside of the shuttle to the cameras wielded by space station crew members, shooting with high-powered lenses through the windows in the Earth-facing side of the space station back in the Zvezda module. Since this flight is not going to the International Space Station, there will be no RPM pictures available. So the current survey will be conducted in daylight. Today's crew cabin survey designed to look for any indications of damage that might have been suffered on any areas of the orbiter during its ride to orbit this afternoon. This data, this imagery, will be combined with that already captured by cameras on the ground, as well as other data still on board Atlantis, still to be downlinked to the ground, including the imagery from the umbilical well camera of the external tank after its separation, and likewise a video from a camera on the external tank itself looking at the underside of the shuttle, plus data gathered by the sensors in the leading edges of the shuttle's wings. All of that information, along with that to be gathered tomorrow during a survey using the orbiter boom sensor system with its cameras and laser imagers, will be scrutinized by the specialists here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, looking for any evidence of any damage to the shuttle's thermal protection system. Mission specialist Mike Massimino in the area of the controls of the robot arm.
You too, Bueno. And John.
That's Scooter.
Oh, there he is.
Commander Scott Altman appearing in that window on the left with a wave to the camera.
Houston, stop recording.
Copy.
Now in the window at the bottom of the screen, Mission Specialist Drew Feustel getting a look at the camera.
Drew, we see you. Looking good.
And now the robotic arm continues to move aft. We're moving across the top of the external airlock. The hatch facing aft, just in the lower right-hand portion of our screen, is the hatch through which the spacewalkers will exit for the 5 spacewalks coming up starting Thursday. And the orange colored apparatus is the super lightweight interchangeable carrier. The camera's now moved outside of the sill and looking down in the radiator on the inside of the port payload bay door. Now in the view, the leading edge of the port wing. Now beyond the leading edge, as the camera begins to move back toward the body of the shuttle, this time focusing on those reinforced carbon-carbon panels along the shuttle's port wing.
Greg Johnson, pilot on STS-125, and you're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Houston. Great wake-up song. I really appreciate that.
Well, you're very welcome.
This is Mission Control Houston, and with that, the crew of Atlantis begins their second flight day in orbit. This morning's wake-up call was for pilot Greg Johnson. The song was Kryptonite, performed by Three Doors Down. The first thing on tap for the crew of Atlantis will be the check out of that flight support system there you see coming into view at the aft end of Atlantis's payload bay. This is the device to which the Hubble Space Telescope will be berthed. It allows the crew to rotate the Hubble Space Telescope around almost 360 degrees and also to tilt it back and forth, which gives the spacewalkers better access to the areas that they need. They'll be checking that out, as well as unberthing the orbiter boom sensor system, which will go on the end of the shuttle's robotic arm and will be used to perform a very thorough inspection of Atlantis' thermal protection system, as well as its wing leading edges, to make sure that Atlantis remains in good shape.
Payload's officer reports that the rotation of the ring is underway. This is about a 24-minute process to rotate the platform up 90 degrees. The camera zoomed in so that the numbers showing where it can be locked into place at the 90-degree point is visible to the crew up on the flight deck throughout this process. Once the berthing and positioning system is in place, it will be used again for the berthing of the telescope. The BAPS, as it's known by its acronym, can actually rotate about its center line plus or minus 175 degrees. It also can be pivoted, obviously, between vertical and horizontal, which is basically the 0-degree position in which it is positioned for launch and landing, up to 90 degrees for the telescope berthing. There are 3 berthing latches on the berthing and positioning system itself, and these berthing latches are remotely operated. It also includes a blind mate umbilical connector, all designed to mate the hardware on the Hubble Space Telescope. In addition to being used for all of the previous Hubble servicing missions, the Flight Support System's original use was for repair of a satellite via extravehicular activity by a space shuttle crew. The Solar Maximum mission, or the Solar Max satellite, was repaired in the payload bay on STS-41C back in April of 1984 using this flight support system, obviously specifically for that particular repair. The FSS after that was modified slightly to be used for servicing of the Hubble Space Telescope, and is now being positioned in the 90-degree point for servicing of the Hubble Space Telescope one last time. The 5th servicing mission obviously underway, with a rendezvous with the telescope scheduled for Wednesday morning, with the grapple targeted for just before noon Central Time. The Space Shuttle's robotic arm now in the process of unberthing the orbiter boom sensor system. It will be used quite extensively throughout the day today with an inspection of the entire thermal protection system of the Space Shuttle Atlantis, including the wing leading edge panels, the nose cap, and also the tiles, the thermal protection system tiles underneath the orbiter, the belly of the orbiter. The sequence will include looking at the starboard reinforced carbon-carbon panels first, followed by looking at the tiles on the starboard or right side of the orbiter underneath. Then a conclusion of the starboard wing survey, followed by a maneuver over to the nose of the orbiter to inspect the nose cap, which also is made up of reinforced carbon-carbon. Crew will take a break for lunch and then switch over to the port wing and the port belly, or the left side of the orbiter, including the wing leading edge panels and also the tiles underneath the left side of the orbiter.
And Houston, Atlantis, we're recording.
And Houston copies, Ray J.
Yeah, the recorders are on, as we heard from the crew, as Megan MacArthur begins the process of maneuvering out to the right wing of the orbiter. all of the video from the orbiter boom sensor system sensor package will be recorded in the event that in the periodic times when the KU band antenna is not able to see the tracking satellite, to provide television coverage of the checkout. Atlantis is just about to pass high above Sri Lanka as it begins a southeasterly swing across the Indian Ocean, trailing the Hubble Space Telescope by about 8,000 miles. The scan of the right wing leading edge reinforced carbon-carbon panels is continuing. There are 7 different zones that that break down the panels. These affectionately are known as the Curry zones for the engineer Don Curry, who did an extensive amount of work after the Columbia accident to help understand the ability of the panels to withstand any damage. The scans that are being done provide near real-time information to the imagery analysis team that is stationed in the mission evaluation room here in Mission Control. They look at these images quite extensively and match those to pre-flight imagery before the vehicle launched to discern whether there was any damage incurred during the launch of Atlantis and the climb to orbit. A very similar scan will be done late in the mission to ensure that the panels had no damage from any micrometeoroid debris impacts during the mission. From the elbow camera on the shuttle's robotic arm, looking down across the tail of Atlantis as it has just crossed the equator to begin the 15th orbit of its mission, tracking northeasterly, just about to swing across Central America, just to the southeast of Acapulco, and then track across the Yucatan Peninsula and central Cuba before moving across the Western Caribbean and then out across the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantis is just a little bit more than 8,000 miles behind the Hubble Space Telescope, which currently is high above the Indian Ocean. The current altitude of Hubble is 350 miles. Atlantis's current altitude is 180 miles. The lower orbit of Atlantis allowing the vehicle to catch up with the telescope over a period of the next day or so, with rendezvous and grapple scheduled just before noon Wednesday.
minutes for EVA.
Mass, go ahead for EVA.
Okay, Dan, we completed the suits. We completed the with John's and Drew's suits on page 3-6. Right now we're waiting for the 15-minute battery charge to finish up. And looking forward to post-EMU checkout reconfig. Have you guys got enough data? Are we okay to reconfig the comm?
Mass, thanks for the update on that. And yes, we've got enough data, so you can go ahead and reconfigure the comm.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do that now.
While the port wing survey continues, the underside of Atlantis's left wing, looking at the tiles with the orbiter boom sensor system attached to the shuttle's robot arm. The call just moments ago that the checkout of the remaining 2 suits is pretty much complete. The only open item was to allow the battery charging to complete for another 15 minutes or so. Based on that, all 4 spacesuits have checked out now, and those suits are essentially ready to support the 5 spacewalks planned for this mission. The 3 odd-numbered spacewalks, 1, 3, and 5, will be conducted by John Grunsfeld and Drew Feustel. The even-numbered spacewalks 2 and 4 will be carried out by Mike Massimino and Michael Good. The integrated sensor inspection system digital camera on the tip of the orbiter boom and sensor system, part of the sensor package on the tip of that boom, providing the images that are being downlinked real-time to mission control for evaluation by the imagery analysis team in the mission evaluation room. Also coming up shortly, the crew members will prepare to lower the cabin pressure from 14.7 pounds per square inch, the air pressure that is felt here on Earth at sea level. They will lower that pressure to 10.2 pounds per square inch, which is essentially the air pressure at an altitude of 10,000 feet. That will allow the crew members to slowly condition their bodies, particularly the 4 crew members that will conduct the 5 spacewalks, to condition their bodies in preparation for heading out for the spacewalks beginning Thursday morning. Lowering the cabin pressure reduces significantly the amount of time that the crew members have to pre-breathe pure oxygen as they head out for the planned 6.5-hour long spacewalks. If they did not depressurize, it would require about a 4-hour pre-breathe of pure oxygen rather than what it will take about 45 minutes or so. The difference between a space shuttle mission and a mission to the International Space Station is the ISS's airlock is actually can operate standalone and be closed off from the rest of the station. And so crew members conduct their pre-breathe, if you will, overnight through a camp-out procedure so that the rest of the space station can remain at the 14.7 pounds per square inch level. The shuttle does not have that capability to seal off the airlock from the rest of the orbiter to maintain the same cabin pressure. The entire cabin of the shuttle is depressurized to that level and remains there and will remain there until the 5th and final spacewalk is completed.
This is a live image from a camera at the aft end of the payload bay on the starboard side, looking down the length of the orbiter boom sensor system and seeing a couple edges of a couple of the big structures in the payload bay for this mission. A little difficult to distinguish from this particular angle from the aft end of the payload bay. At the aft end is the multi-use logistics carrier, which should be used as a work platform. It is also carrying up the new Science Instrument Command and Data Handling system.
Hello, Matt. Mike, good. First day in space. How's it going? First full day. You already had, you blasted off yesterday. How you feeling today?
Feeling much better today.
Yeah?
It was a very exciting liftoff and
yes.
Trip to space. Here we are. Had a little sleep, had a little chow.
You look great.
We're doing our work here, getting the airlock ready so we can go outside and do EVAs.
All right.
Which is why we're here.
That's the whole idea. And Drew, what are you doing?
I'm using the tape.
Is there any reason why you have sunglasses on in the mid-deck where there's no lights? No sun?
Because they look cool.
Ah, that's my man. Let's go into the airlock, see if anyone's there. Hey, John.
Yeah.
You in the airlock?
In the airlock.
Poke your head out for the people on Earth.
There are no people on Earth. You can't fool me.
That's not your head, that's your feet.
Stand by. Got my hands full.
I still see your feet. What are you doing in here?
Hey, Mass. Welcome.
You getting the spacesuits ready?
Getting the airlock ready.
So how's it feel to be here after 7 years?
Oh, it's wonderful.
All right.
Like old friends.
Excellent. All right, hey Drew, how was your first day in space?
It was good.
Yeah?
I enjoyed it.
You were unbelievable, man. You were working like a maniac right from the get-go, like you were born here.
I like this floating in space.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
It's a ride.
Do a flip for your family and friends.
Let's see if I can.
Can you do that?
Slowly.
Slowly. It's excellent. So has this met your expectations?
Exceeded.
Really?
Oh yeah, by far exceeded them.
Well, you're doing great, man.
Thanks, buddy. The ride was, man, that was some ride.
That was some, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun during that ascent.
We did have some fun, yeah.
Singing songs and screaming and yelling.
Those 3 Gs kicked in and I
oh,
was ready for
yeah,
that to
baby.
be over.
That was fun though, wasn't it?
Man.
I'll remember that.
It was awesome.
All right.
It was fun sitting with you, buddy.
It was. I enjoyed it.
It was a thrill.
So how was that ascent?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah?
It was great being on the mid-deck. We took care of those lockers with the best of them.
Yeah, we had a fun time. Now, we don't have any windows on the mid-deck, of course, but me, you, and Drew had a good time anyway, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
It was just wonderful. I can't believe we're actually here again. The view's magnificent still, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
After 7 years.
And our spacesuits are here, and we're getting ready to go outside.
That'll be great. All right, John. Keep working. Don't slack off too much. Yeah. We're in the mid-deck of Space Shuttle Atlantis. My buddy John Grunsfeld over here. But the person we want to talk to is behind the camera, and now going to be on camera. That's Megan MacArthur, who is our flight engineer. And Megan, what are you doing now?
Well, we just finished the starboard survey of the orbiter TPS, and I'm going to get my lunch. So I go to this locker here that says MS2 meals on it, and I pull it out, and it shows me all the food with the green dot that's mine, that's in here. So I look up kind of what I want to eat.
Hey, Houston, we're seeing the band at the edge now. How's that look?
All right, I found what I want.
Okay.
Could you go back to the right, take out about a half?
Okay, so Megan's now fishing through. We keep getting interrupted by the ground. But
this is what I was looking for, ravioli.
Oh, man, it was great.
Very tasty.
I just had some.
So, put this away, close this up, and then...
And Houston, that looks better to us.
This is the warming of it.
As well. You can press.
There it goes. It sits in there for a few minutes to get warm, and then I can eat it, because I don't like it cold.
Now, how have you liked the food so far?
Well, so far, all I've had is a peanut butter sandwich, and that was tasty. So,
that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good thing about this food is it's easy to cook. It's not bad to eat, but it's really easy. You just took it out there and you put it in there.
Put it in there,
you know?
and like magic, it'll be warm.
Yeah, all the cooking shows would be jealous. Because you got to buy ingredients, you got to mix stuff.
This is easy.
Our stuff you just throw right in there.
Just throw it right in there. Do you have something in here? You want me to put
No,
something
my
in for
food
you?
is never in there. It's always in my stomach. Well, I'm using a computer. And just like a computer at home, we have computers in space. I'm checking our flight plans, see what we need to do, and I also can check my email. I've already gotten some email from my wife and my kids, and it's great to be able to stay in touch with them like this. And it's a great way for us to tell our friends what we're doing, and maybe even send a Twitter once in a while. Not that often, but once in a while.
What does the flight plan say we're supposed to be doing?
Oh no, I bet it's not fooling around filming. We're doing inspections of the orbiter right now, of the space shuttle with the inspection boom. And we're also checking out our spacesuits for the spacewalk. So it's a busy day, and things are just going to keep getting busier.
We're going to get it all done?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And we're going to have fun doing it.
Excellent.
But you're setting up for IMAX. You've also set up for what other kind of video? You're doing all kinds of photography.
We're doing
and
high
video.
definition, so we got some high definition down yesterday of the ET tank.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing this as high definition.
Right.
And then we'll do kind of a crew summary at the end of the day.
So how do you like filmmaking? You think it might be a second career for you?
Could be.
Yeah.
After piloting.
What kind of movies would you make?
They'd be all humorous movies.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Okay,
You're doing great.
Thanks. It was a wild ascent, by the way.
Anything else you want to say to your family?
Love to be in space. I miss them, and I'll see them soon.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
The performance of your crew so far. I know it's still early, but how you feeling?
They're doing well. I'm very impressed. It's been a tough 2 days. 109 was tough. This has been more packed than that was, but people have really pulled through. We had a long day yesterday. Today was tough with all the inspection ops, but everybody chimed in, did more their job and a little bit more. That's my motto, and I was real happy with how well it went.
Sounds like you're a slave driver. Is that true?
Yeah.
Hey, and what about that hat?
What
you got
think?
a new STS-125 hat. It's pretty sharp.
Do you think it got paint spilled on it like everybody else does?
No, I think it looks good. I think it looks great.
It's Hubble pictures in a hat.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
So I had to fly it. I wanted to take it with me.
Very inspiring.
That's it.
Well, hey, thanks a lot for being such a great commander, and I hope we can do as well in the rest of the mission as we've done so far in the first 2 days. What do you think?
I think we will. I think the best part about being a commander here is having a great crew that does everything, and I just sit around.
All right, anybody watching this, remember this is non-edited and we're not professionals. See ya.
I'm Megan MacArthur with the STS-125 crew. You're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Houston, and thanks for that song. Thanks to my husband, Bob, and I'd also like to say good morning to all the curious monkeys in my family, Sophie, Vincent, Sedona, and Paulo. Remember, guys, there's no stopping curiosity.
And we agree with you, Megan.
And so begins Flight Day 3 for the crew of Atlantis as the shuttle heads toward its date in the sky with the Hubble Space Telescope. The wake-up call this morning was Upside Down, performed by Jack Johnson. It was played for Megan MacArthur, who is now just a few hours from reaching out and grabbing Hubble with the shuttle's robotic arm and beginning in earnest the tune-up of the telescope that has been planned for so long.
The twin orbital maneuvering system engines on the tail of Atlantis firing, supporting the altitude increase to support the rendezvous with the Hubble Space Telescope. The glow in the center is the vertical tail of Atlantis, the twin orbital maneuvering system engines, the OMS engines providing 6,000 pounds of thrust each. The burn underway, 3-minute, 17-second burn.
Atlantis Houston, good burn, no trim required.
Copy, Houston, we concur, thanks. Houston, Atlantis for Star Tracker.
Scooter, go ahead for Star Tracker.
Yeah, Houston, Atlantis can report that the Star Tracker is not the only thing that can see a star on our horizon. Looking out the COAS, we see that star approaching from the east.
Hey, that's terrific news. I guess the last time we've seen Hubble up close was March of '02, so that's great to hear. Thank you.
We hope to get a lot closer, so we'll continue.
Good call.
From Houston, Atlantis, 200 feet.
And Houston copies, thanks.
From 200 feet, the Hubble Space Telescope, first time it's been seen since March 2002, the most recent servicing mission. Atlantis essentially station keeping while the final command sequence being completed before moving in for the final approach to grapple. This view of the minus V3 side of the telescope, the first spacewalk of the 5 planned during the mission, will essentially focus on that little area, the white strip that is the location of the Wide Field and Planetary Camera 2. The first task of the first spacewalk will be to swap that camera with a new improved Wide Field Camera 3. The Hubble Space Telescope delivered to space back in April of 1990. It celebrated its 19th birthday just about 2 weeks ago. The telescope is 43.5 feet long and has a 10-foot diameter of the forward light shield area of the telescope. It also, the 14-foot diameter is the equipment section and the aft shroud area of the telescope. Hubble has a mass in space of 24,500 pounds. There are 3 brackets on the bottom of the telescope that essentially will link up with the berthing latches on the flight support system. There are 3 of those latches that will lock the telescope in place on the flight support system for the duration of its servicing tasks while aboard Atlantis. Shuttle's robotic arm is in position and awaiting the commanding from Megan MacArthur, as she will be in charge of the shuttle's remote manipulator system for the grapple of the telescope.
Okay, that's okay. It's maybe drifting slightly left. Closure?
We're stalling minus 0.05 at 151 feet.
Okay, I just...
I'm going to try to shoot one off the bottom just to see if it'll take.
Okay, I see you set up with body vector 5,
how many
pitch
angles
of
off do you think we
270,
are?
yaw 0, omicron 0. And I agree with that for a plus body yaw.
What's that?
I agree with you for a plus body yaw. Those are good entries.
Okay.
What's that happened to my rendezvous
on the bottom? Yeah.
Okay, we're switching the bottom.
Okay, so the range jumped, but that's because I went to the bottom. It should have jumped about...
We're about 135 to the 40 to the bottom. Okay, let me look at the monitor. Okay, that's not too bad.
I can't.
Can you do a subtended or not?
Say again, me?
No, I'm good. You want to subtend it off the bottom?
Just for grams, yeah.
That's all blown up.
Wait, are your numbers getting smaller or bigger?
Smaller. Good program.
Well, we just jumped our screw. You're still holding.
I just mean between the two numbers.
6.9, Drew.
Like a foot at a time, nothing big.
Okay.
Still getting small.
Good job.
That one stayed the same.
150 still, Megan?
It's a good question. We're shooting the bottom. We're about 123 feet now off the bottom. 135, sorry. You're reading...
I'm reading the raw.
You're reading DT? Okay.
Off the bottom of the telescope, right?
132 off the bottom.
Yeah, we have to shut off the flood lights, I think. Maybe moving a little bit right, Megan.
Very good. We copy 130 feet.
Okay, it's not seeing it there yet.
So shut off the IMAX floods?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to reflect off the lights too much, maybe.
So, what did you call about the contact? What did you say? I assume the contact
130 feet, Scooter.
Okay, reconfiguring glasses.
Did you want to open back to 150 to do this
No,
maneuver?
I want to have opening
We
though.
got negative 0.06.
So we're going to wait for inertia.
Okay.
Long pull.
We're not opening yet.
How about 3 minutes, screw, for inertia?
350 miles above the Indian Ocean, Atlantis with the robotic arm in view, closing in on the Hubble Space Telescope, directly underneath the telescope now that the two vehicles are in the proper position for grapple. Inside 100 feet to Hubble.
And Houston, Atlantis, we have the telescope in the RMS in the sector.
Roger, we copy, and we're pulling down KU right now, and we see that. Thank you.
The bottom of Hubble coming into view through the remote manipulator system's end effector camera. This same view seen through one of the closed circuit televisions up on the flight deck of Atlantis. Commander Scott Altman carefully positioning Atlantis within 35 feet or so of the telescope. And at that point, Megan MacArthur will maneuver the robotic arm over the grapple pin to secure Hubble to the shuttle's robotic arm. The equipment section coming into view with the aft shroud of the telescope. Behind those doors are the rate sensor units, essentially the gyroscopes that control the telescope's attitude. The white area, the wide field planetary camera 2 location. That camera will be swapped on the first spacewalk of the mission, replaced with a new improved wide field camera 3. And just above that, coming into view, the forward shell of the telescope, the various equipment bays that provide all of the electronics packages for the telescope. And the grapple fixture now in view. Megan MacArthur now repositioning the shuttle's robotic arm to align with the grapple fixture on the telescope. Space Shuttle Atlantis, all of its thruster jets have been inhibited. It's in free drift.
Houston, Atlantis. Hubble has arrived on board Atlantis with the arm.
Atlantis Houston, we copy. Nice job, Megan. Nice job on the Proxops flying as well. It's great to be back with the telescope.
Thank you, Houston. Appreciate the support getting us here.
Atlantis Houston, we're still verifying that the HST to drift command took. We'll have words for you in just a moment.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Everybody's very excited up here, I can tell you. Houston Atlantis for HST.
John, go ahead for HST.
Yeah, I'm just looking out the window here, and it's an unbelievably beautiful sight. Amazingly, the exterior of Hubble, an old man of 19 years in space, still looks in fantastic shape.
We copy that. Thanks for those words.
The crew has been given a go to perform the HST or Hubble berthing procedures. The first step, obviously, is to maneuver the telescope to the flight support system hover position. Once in position, the flight support system closed-circuit television setup will take place. The crew will perform those tasks and then configure the FSS or flight support system for berthing. Megan MacArthur now repositioning the Hubble Space Telescope high above the payload bay over the flight support system. There are 3 berthing latches that will hold the Hubble Space Telescope securely for all of the servicing tasks. And Megan MacArthur now releasing the telescope with the shuttle's robotic arm, the end effector now backing away from the grapple fixture as the 2 spacecraft cross the equator midway through the 32nd orbit of Atlantis' mission, tracking southeasterly toward the southwest coastline of Africa.
Houston Atlantis for PDRS. We're ready to put HST survey and work on page 1-7 of the flight specific.
Mass, we copy, and we're ready for the HST survey. Atlantis Houston, Scooter, I think I owed you an answer on the forward starboard and forward port floodlight question.
Okay, yeah, I had read the flight rules prior to flight, and it said 1 and 2 with the time limits and marked port and starboard, so I just had a question on that.
Yeah, that's as we understand it. The forward port is the one that's flight rule restricted for time on. Now we're down the forward starboard because apparently it doesn't illuminate.
Well, that figures. It wouldn't be the one with the limits on it that would fail. Noted. Thank you. And we're having a little trouble getting a switch guard to stay. We got a booty on it. We may tape over it.
No, that's fine. Whatever works for you. We're ready for activate HST external power step 1.
Okay, good news. We'll put that in work.
Houston Atlantis for HST. Activate HST external powers complete.
John, great job. Thanks for that. And we're just about ready to hand over here. And on behalf of the Orbit 2 team and the Goddard team, we'd like to congratulate you on a great job today with the rendezvous, the grapple, and the berth. It's wonderful to see Hubble safely aboard Atlantis, and we're all looking forward very much to a couple of great days of EVA.
Hey, Dan, to you, Tony, the entire team, both here and the Goddard folks here and the folks back at Goddard following along. We just want to say thanks for all the work that got us to this point. We realize we're just setting the stage for the main activity, doing the repairs on Hubble, but you got to get past step 1 to get any further along, and having Hubble safely berthed in the bay feels great to us. Thanks to y'all. It was a team effort, and we appreciate the help.
Mission specialists Megan MacArthur and Mike Massimino are at the controls of the robotic arm. MacArthur and Massimino using the robotic arm, the cameras, to provide a close-up look for the Space Telescope Operations Control Center at the exterior of the Hubble Space Telescope. Hubble, of course, has been in orbit for more than 19 years now since its launch on shuttle mission STS-31 in April of 1990. Subsequently, there have been 4 servicing flights, the most recent of which was STS-109, also commanded by Scott Altman, and included spacewalkers John Grunsfeld and Mike Massimino. All 3 of them are on this flight as well. That servicing mission was in March of 2002, and the telescope has been exposed to the conditions of low Earth orbit at an altitude of 350 miles since that time, to the extremes of heat and cold, to the radiation environment. And so the survey at this point is intended to give the Hubble team an update as to the condition of the exterior of the telescope. This live view from the aft end of Atlantis' payload bay, looking forward with the payload bay and the telescope pointed toward the Earth. You can see as they pass that the vehicles have overflown Baja California and are now over northern Mexico, about to cross the Rio Grande over Laredo and overfly South Texas. Current course will take Atlantis over the Gulf of Mexico and extreme southwestern Florida.
Megan MacArthur, who worked the arm and grappled the telescope. Scott Altman, our commander, who flew the space shuttle in formation with the telescope, going how fast?
17,500 miles an hour.
Very fast.
Formation.
Very, very fast.
Just like this.
Unbelievable. So Megan, how do you feel? What was it like?
I feel good. You know, it was very smooth. It was very straightforward. The scooter got really nulled out all the rates. It was just rock solid. It was like grabbing something that wasn't moving. So felt good. Glad to have that behind us so the EVA guys can get to work.
Now you're going to make us work. See,
exactly, yeah,
you're good up till then. But it did look like a statue, that telescope, didn't it?
Yeah, it was
Look,
beautiful.
it was moving at all.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You did a great. But you were happy after you grabbed that thing, weren't you? Yeah, that was a big challenge for you, wasn't it?
Well, it was good. It went just like clockwork.
All right, well, that's great. And Scooter.
Sir.
What about you? What did you think of the rendezvous? How was it?
It was exciting.
Well, you said
challenges there.
You said it was a little fast. Is that right?
We came in. We had kind of a little extra closure, a little out of plane maneuvering, trying to get up to the telescope. Had to do some braking, and then the telescope wasn't rotated for us. We had to wait when we got there, and then do a yaw maneuver. All this.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that. See, it's just a furball with that telescope.
Gosh! But you are an F-14 pilot, right?
Yes.
So going fast, that's not a big deal. That was all right.
That was okay.
And it was just like the sim.
It was a lot like the sim, yes. I was glad we had that last orbit sim where we did the yaw at the wrong time, so that on this time we could do the yaw at the right time.
Do you think your Top Gun flying helped you with this? You know, in that movie that you did?
I do, because see, we're like this. We're going around. It's sort of inverted like that. We were a negative G pushover with the telescope at 18,000 miles an hour.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Unbelievable.
We've never been this close before.
No. All right, well, both of you, it's a pleasure to be on the same crew with you guys, and awesome job today.
All right, you get to work.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you say it. Yeah? And what are you doing tomorrow with them?
These are our EVA and spacewalking tool caddies, called mini workstations. They have our tethers on them, so we don't lose things. We can tether to stuff.
There you go.
We have our EVA trash bag to put little things. I'm not going to touch these very delicate bristles.
Right, there it is. Yes, very delicate.
We always check to make sure it's closed in the back.
Right, you want it zipped in the back as a zipper. That's good.
What do you got there, Drew?
Drew's got some fun stuff.
This is our safety tether.
Right. You always got to have that on you.
You got to have these on. This is
Show the real end, where it comes out, the reel. There you go.
Keeps us attached to the vehicle,
Right,
of course, we don't let go.
Right, you're always going to have that on you. You're not going to let go anyway, that's just in case.
Steel wire is all that protects us from flying away?
No, you guys have other techniques and stuff to help you.
But we don't let go.
Right, you'll be fine. So how do you guys feel? Drew?
Yeah.
This is your first spacewalk tomorrow. What do you feel? What do you think?
Excited. I'm getting excited.
Yeah. You're ready.
Seeing Hubble come into the payload bay was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And, the rendezvous was fun, and now we're ready to go. We're getting off.
It's beautiful, wasn't it?
Work. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you, man. You're ready to go. You're going to do great.
I'm ready. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome, man. And John, this is like spacewalk number 714? No. Spacewalk number 6. Okay, great.
I'm looking forward to seeing our old friend Hubble, the Space Telescope.
Yeah.
And seeing if it's aged at all. I know I have. A little gray in the mustache here. But I'm really looking forward to going out and putting in the wide field camera. What's wide field camera going to do?
Unlock the secrets of the universe.
That's right. Unlock the secrets of the universe.
That's right.
Right. Okay, well, Hubble did look pretty good. I have to admit, it came in. I looked at those handrails there in the survey, John. I think you're going to be pleased. You guys are going to do great. You're all set, ready to go. Tools are ready. Wish you the best of luck. We're going to be there with you, talking to you from the inside. And here we go. Spacewalking starting tomorrow morning. Awesome. All right, Mike Good. You're very involved with that rendezvous today, weren't you?
Well, I had a very small bit roll.
Well, what were you doing? Tell us what you were doing.
I was shooting the telescope as it was coming in with my handheld laser.
Yeah.
And that gives us range and range rate, how far away the telescope is from us and how fast we're approaching it. And I got the new record today for Hubble, over 4,400 feet. Thanks to Alan Fox, my instructor. He really did a great job.
So what that means is you were able to get a distance measurement by shooting that laser from 4,400 feet. Can you imagine? I don't think there's any state trooper in a country that can fire a laser like that and come on. You got not just the range, but the speed on it too, right?
Yeah, it was going really slow though.
Yeah, that's all right. 17,500 miles an hour.
We're both going very fast,
right,
but the
so
relative speeds, but it was very exciting. I was very happy to get that.
Now, 4,400 feet, what was the previous record? It was like 25 feet or something like that, right? These guys, what's
it was
the previous
around 4,000, so I think anything over 4,000 was a new record, but nobody remembers, so I got the record.
I got a feeling now, since we've got this on tape, people are going to remember. And this is the world record. No one's going to dispute it.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Mike.
Good job, Mike. Oh, he's going to ask us a question.
Mass, what's up?
Hey, man, we're floating around the middeck. We got you guys set for your EVA tomorrow. Grab the telescope. We're having a good time here.
Here, Mass, you want some M&Ms?
Thanks very much.
Hey, what'd you think of that rendezvous?
What did I think?
Were you on the flight deck?
I was on the flight deck taking pictures and photos, and my job was to, sorry, he remembered I would probably eat him on. And my job was to help Megan, who did a great job, work the arm and back her up and help her out a little bit, but she did great.
And then you got some good pictures afterwards of the telescope?
We got
take a look
pictures
at?
before, I got to move the arm around, some funky arm positions to look at the different solar array joints, and yeah, it was a blast. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic. You guys are sending us out the door tomorrow?
Yeah, but the highlight for me is going to be seeing you guys go out tomorrow. Mike and I will be in there keeping watch over you and trying to keep things moving, but we're looking forward to watching you guys spacewalk, like spacemen.
Yeah. Great. We'll see you later.
All right. Do it today for you.
The rendezvous was not as expected completely.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, we expected to get to Hubble, right?
We did.
So that part of it worked out.
I didn't expect a fly out to do the orbiter body fly out, so that was moving the orbiter around and getting the right attitude.
A little more maneuvering than you thought.
A little more maneuvering.
But still.
It was and also didn't expect the for Scooter's camera to be aligned, that I'd be all washed out in the light.
So a few unexpected things.
A little unexpected.
But,
however,
if you look outside that window,
I see Hubble.
There's a telescope out there. So I would say you did a pretty good job.
It was good. It was good. I did a couple of the burns, the out of plane null burn, and a couple of the correction burns, but those were fun. And then once we got to Hubble, Megan did just a rock solid job of getting it with you, and then got it in the sunlight, and got the survey done of the Hubble, and I also took the IMAX of the berthing.
Oh my goodness, so we've got IMAX footage.
We got IMAX 30 millimeter, baby.
All I know, Greg, is if you look out there, there's a telescope waiting for us to start working on it. So all in all, a good day.
I have to say,
What do you have to say?
I have to say now,
Yeah.
it's all up to you.
Okay, we're going to cut that part of the film. See you later. Yeah.
I'm Drew Feustel, Mission Specialist with the Hubble Servicing Mission, and you're watching NASA TV.
Hey, good morning, Houston, and good morning to my family. Thanks to them for sending up that fantastic music. It's nothing like hearing a song like that to put me in a great mood today to go outside for a spacewalk. So thanks to all of them, and hello.
And it's going to be a great day.
And so a historic day begins for the crew of STS-125 Shuttle Atlantis. Today's wake-up call music was the song Stick Shifts and Safety Belts. It's performed by the band Cake, and it was played for mission specialist Drew Feustel, who is now just a few hours away from his first ever spacewalk. He'll be joined by John Grunsfeld, who will conduct his 6th spacewalk of his career. The two will kick off 5 back-to-back days of tune-ups to the Hubble Space Telescope.
Okay, and caution, minimize fan operation with O2 actuator off, 2 minutes. For DC1, DCM, fan on. Power restart may occur.
That's coming up.
Check electrical harness clear of neck ring.
I can't hear anymore. Yeah.
Okay, this is the big one. Don the helmet, check locked. Coming out your way. Got it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Before you close the hatch, wipe down the seal.
On the inside with what?
Just like the empty out.
Except I'm upside down and
And I'm straddling a pipe.
Very nice.
the mountain is still Salvador.
You the only one on the crew who uses that?
Scooter, I'm sending this camera out. Can you grab it?
Yeah. Send it this way. I think the other guys, some of the other guys use them too. Let me get a picture of you guys.
Okay, I can check out where you guys are.
Dueling cinematographers. Mine's better. No, mine is. Nice flash.
3.7.
I think you need the flash.
They actually turned out pretty good.
Okay.
3.7. That one's better. Dude, here it comes. Looking good, buddy. Wide field camera 3 is all yours. We're gonna go get it.
Go get it.
We're gonna make it happen. Lickety split.
debris.
Got any words for going out the door, buddy?
I'm excited.
Excited just like the NBL?
Trying to get a last bite to eat before we go.
Good.
I'm a little more excited than at the NBL. It's the real deal.
Drew, are you hitting the big time here?
Ray J, this is the big time, buddy.
DC at 5, John? Okay, valve is closed. Okay, for both of you on your DCM, status your display until leak check is shown. And work. And then you'll want to long yes that for 2 seconds and follow the instructions. EV2 complete, in leak check. Copy EV2. EV1 in the leak check. Copy, John. All right, it is daylight outside. I know you want to keep your visors up, but you'll probably want to get them down when you get out there. Thanks. Okay, John, you can open the thermal cover. Okay, I'm working on tab. Thermal cover is open, Matt. This is great, John. We see you coming out. You can egress. Coming out. Ready, Drew? I'm ready, John. Let's go do this. Oh, this is fantastic. You're going to love it, Drew. Looks nice.
Veteran spacewalker John Grunsfeld out of the airlock, recognizable by the red stripes around his pant legs and up on the backpack of his suit, the backpack housing all of his life support equipment.
Port show, John. Heading out, man. Copy. And John, here, look at the cabin for a second. Looking good, Drew. Too cool. Good safety tether. Turn towards me. Woohoo! Your 2 latches on the mini workstation, and all your hooks are engaged. And I see yours as well. I don't see any loose tethers. Safety tether looks good. And that guy's not staying, so yeah, okay. I'm on my way. You got it. Yeah, you guys look great. Drew, you look awesome. You can see the reflection of the Earth in your visor. It's awesome. Fantastic.
Drew Feustel now out of the hatch.
Roger.
John Grunsfeld heading off to begin work with the manipulator foot restraint setup, as Drew Feustel will conduct a few minutes of some translation adaptation, since this is his first ever spacewalk.
Headed for the window, man. We're waiting.
Throughout the spacewalk, we'll get helmet cam video from the 2 crew members. The highlighted soft number down in the right lower portion of the screen will indicate which crew member's helmet cam you're looking at. Number 20 is Drew Feustel. If you see a number 19, that'll be John Grunsfeld.
Heavy descent.
Okay. Okay, Megan, I will GCA the MFR out in just a moment. Okay, Megan, I need you to go up about 1 foot.
Up 1 foot.
Out of the payload bay, you're clear of Hubble.
Simultaneous with the setup activities for the EVA, the Space Telescope Operations Control Center has kicked off the preparations for the wide field camera swap.
And no more
let you know he's putting the 400 millimeter.
Second copy, port only.
Yeah, KFX machine.
You're clear of the sill.
John Grunsfeld at the back end on the flight support system, just underneath the Hubble Space Telescope. Grunsfeld helmet cam with the number 19 you see there in the bottom right corner. He is securing the berthing and positioning system support post. That provides a little extra structural support to the flight support system during all of the spacewalk servicing tasks.
LFR handle will be next.
Drew Feustel with the handhold that will be attached to the outside of the Wide Field Planetary 2 just there in front of him. There are 4 zip nuts that will first be installed, and then those will be hand tightened. You see those hand tightening mechanisms there just in front of him on the fine guidance sensor handhold. This handhold matches all of the radial instruments, including the wide field camera and also the 3 fine guidance sensors that are mounted sequentially around the telescope circumference.
You ready for me to install the handhold?
Sure, Drew. John is just finishing up the L-gap cover, so it'll be a few more moments.
Okay.
But I don't see any reason why we couldn't get the handhold on now.
Okay, handhold's going on. Okay, Mass, the L-gap is installed.
Copy, John. You want to retrieve your Bay 10 thermal cover.
I'll get it on the way.
And John Grunsfeld now has handed the multi-setting torque limiter over to Drew Feustel. This will be able to apply a little bit more pressure torque to the ground strap bolt on the WFPIC 2 grounding strap. You see the WFPIC 2 there in this view from John Grunsfeld. Drew Feustel just off to the right on the end of the shuttle's robotic arm and a foot restraint.
No turning. Mass, the MTL is slipping.
Copy, John. I see our next is to remove the CMTL and try it without an MTL at all. Houston, Atlantis, if you heard my last, you concur with that step 2?
Mass, we're talking. Hang on.
Mass, I put in 3 attempts. Probably got about 3 MTL slips on each attempt, and see no motion on the A-latch bolt.
Copy.
Go ahead and put it in there if you would.
Atlantis, Houston, just to help us out, can you just double check one more time that the MTL was in 45?
We'll have him do that.
I see 45. I see 45.
That's confirmed, Dan. 45.
Mass, we copy that. In that case, we're with you in step 2, removing the CMTL.
Okay. You can remove the CMTL from the ratchet, and we'll try without an MTL.
Okay, Megan, 2 feet away, please. 2 feet away. Go.
So increasing the torque up to 45 inch-pounds, that was not able to release the bolt either. So the next step will be to remove the multi-setting torque limiter completely from the ratchet tool and apply a little more force without any limiter.
John, do you want to stay there for now? The short adjustable, the snout is the same, right? Were you thinking?
Yeah, the snout is the same. I guess before we break the A-latch, which is a game-ending activity, so we ought to try that short adjustable. So maybe Drew can load it up to what he thinks is a little more than what the 45 was. Well, I go get the... I mean, it's hard. 45 to 56 isn't much different. I really defer to you and the ground, man. I'm happy to go and get it.
Atlantis Houston.
Copy, John. I was just wondering if you might want to stay by with Drew as he tries this. He's almost done with the reconfigure the tool. He is done.
Yeah, Atlantis Houston, we've been talking and listening to your discussions on this as well, and we think that John's plan is suggesting to go get the short adjustable is probably a good one, and maybe that would be the best next action vice going immediately to step 2, given that we don't have any good positive indication of that failure torque as we approach it.
Okay, Dan, so we're not going to do step 2. We're going to have John go get the short adjustable. And we will have Drew, I guess we'll use the contingency MTL again. It'll take me just a couple of minutes. Okay. I'm the free floater. Take your time. Take your time, John. But Dan, just to be clear, we're going to retry with the short adjustable and the contingency MTL set at 45. Is that right?
Atlantis Houston, that is a good plan. That's what we're just discussing, Mass. We think short adjustable with contingency MTL is probably the best next action.
Very smart. Okay, Drew, so you can, I don't know where you are with the reconfig, but you can keep the contingency MTL on the tool, remove the 8-latch socket, and we will have John fetch the short adjustable. He's on his way now. Getting a lot of practice at this. I'll have to put it back on. A lot of pull tests. Yeah, one of the more fun things to do. That's right. Yeah.
John Grunsfeld headed down to the airlock to retrieve a short adjustable ratchet to assist with breaking the torque on the grounding strap bolt, which has been a little troublesome in releasing.
You want me to take the whole thing, John? Yeah. If I get to the wide field, we're coming in, handhold, we're coming in. You can stop. Got a tether. There's thanks. Okay, Megan, stop motion. Listen, stop. Okay, stop motion. Listen, stop. Okay, Mass, I just want to understand how far can we go with this, and what are the implications if I over-torque and break the bolt? Sure, you want to know. Houston, Atlantis, you might have copied Drew's question. We know the failure torque on this bolt is 57.1 foot-pounds. We had the MTL set at 45. What the crib sheet says is if we don't get it to break here, we're going to reconnect the ground strap and blind mate connector. So I guess Drew's just wondering how hard he should try on this A-latch. If you have any words for us, we'd appreciate it.
Atlantis Houston, we copy that, and thanks for asking. There's actually no issue with having the latch taken all the way to the failure point. The instrument should still function, so Drew can have at it, and you're correct. If we get to that point, we will need to reconnect the ground strap and blind mate connector, and we'll just leave it as is.
Okay, so Drew is good to use everything he's got then to try to break the torque here. Is that correct?
Mass, I'm sorry, you were stepped on. Say again.
So in other words, he can use what he needs from his strength to try to break the torque. Is that what you're telling us?
That's exactly right. And as soon as he does, if he's successful, start to have some motion in the latch, we'd like him to go ahead and stop at that point.
Okay. Thanks, Dan. Okay, but I think we understand that if it breaks, then wide field stays in.
What John said is correct.
Thanks. Okay, here we go. I think I got it. It turned. It definitely turned. Yep. It turned. And it's turning easily now. Very nice.
Okay, and Atlantis Houston for EPA, we copied and saw that. That's great news. At this point, we'd like to put the MTL back in series with the short adjustable.
Well, this has been in there for 16 years, Drew. It didn't want to come out. Kind of like a head bolt, you know? It likes what it's been doing, and it weighs 620 pounds to be exact. And it's been doing it well. It's
20. Thank you, ma'am.
And we counted a total of 22 plus the half, 22 and a half turns on the A-latch.
I guess it's just decided to be a recalcitrant teenager.
How's that look, too?
It looks great. Johnny, you ready? I'm out of my... Getting out of your way. Clear? Clear. Okay, Megan, I'm ready to start coming out of the telescope.
Copy, coming out.
Drew Feustel on the end of the robotic arm. John Grunsfeld providing some eyes, assisting with the guidance of the camera out of the...
Okay, the guide rails are outside of the labyrinth field. Can you see over the top? Yep. Okay, you're doing a great job. Thanks. The mirror's at the labyrinth field. You want, you can increase the rate slightly. Increase rate, Megan.
Copy, increasing the rate.
John, could you get a diver to hold up the mirror end? Sure. The mirror is just outside of the telescope. The mirror is 1 foot outside the telescope. Okay, increase rate, Megan. John, you see it clear for the maneuver? You're clear for the maneuver. Go for the maneuver, Megan.
Copy, going to aft fixture.
And the wide field planetary camera 2 is clear of the structure of the telescope, and now Feustel will be maneuvered by Megan MacArthur to the temporary stowage location along the left side of the payload bay.
Clear to go and take a look if you need to. Thank you.
John, if you want to pause for a second.
350 miles above the Sudan in Africa.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Megan, you're clear to start aft.
Megan, copies.
This is a lot lighter than it is in the pool. Are you clear? Yeah, John, I'm clear. Thanks. Okay, my mystery is solved. Which was? I was worried I wouldn't be able to open this lid.
Looks like it's opening easily.
Yep.
Drew Feustel at the ready with the handhold now, as looking through the handhold down at John Grunsfeld as he opens the protective enclosure, exposing the new camera so that Drew Feustel can attach the handhold. Again, the 4 twist bolts you see there on the handhold, he will attach those and then basically reverse course and take the new camera up to its new home, the location that the wide field planetary camera 2, a little bit bulky, time consuming to get that bolt free, but it's out of the telescope and the opening is clean and ready to support the installation of the newest camera.
You're 1 foot out from the guide rail. I see the radiator. 6 inches, Drew. Copy. 5, 4, 3, stop mode. 2.
Motion stopped.
On the left, John. Okay, keep bringing it in. Slight, ever so slightly to the right. Okay, that's the guide rail. Pitch down. Okay, you're in. Bear left. This looks good. You're in the guide rail. Can Megan start coming back? Roll looks good.
Coming in.
Watch from the radiator too. Bring your end down about 1/2 inch. Good. Push rollers going in. Bring your end down slightly. Okay, that's good. Second roller is in. I'm backing off. Okay. 3 inches to go. You're there. Keep coming, Megan.
Copy, continue.
Hey, stop motion.
Motion stopped.
I've got a hand on it. Copy. Nice job. Nice work. Hey, let's first. DGT for the ALATs, Drew, when you're ready. Okay, Megan, I'll need to come down 2 feet. And left 6 inches.
Down 2 feet, left 6 inches.
A new camera now installed. The next step will be to engage the bolt or the A latch, again expecting about 22 turns on the pistol grip tool settings.
10.5.
Yes, 250. Copy, John. Forward fixture next.
On my way. Execution for EDA. Good news from the stock. Liveness test on wide field 3 is good.
Hooray!
Awesome. That's awesome news, Dan. Thanks. These guys did a great job, and we appreciate all the great support we got from the ground, getting wide field in to unlock the secrets of the universe.
More of the secrets.
More of the secrets of the universe.
NASA have a tether on pit 2, and the instrument is free of the aft fixture. The pit pin is in a temp stow. Megan, I'm ready to move.
Copy, W side.
Copy all, true, thanks. Copy, ground strap clear. How you doing, John? Going okay. Good. Great view. Incredible view. And it's a beautiful picture with you holding that historic wide field camera too, planetary camera too. Yeah. Happy it decided to come out. Yep, I'm very glad it decided to come out. Guessing we're not the only ones. Second roller. Hey Megan, we can start down. Third roller.
Coming down.
Fourth, fifth, sixth roller. Okay, the pull for the stroke strip is in the guide rail. Copy all the rollers. That feels like it's floating down. Excellent. Megan, we can stop motion.
Motion stopped.
Down.
Drew Feustel configuring his tools on the manipulator foot restraint tool caddy. John Grunsfeld completing his task with the wide field planetary camera 2 installation and cleanup work, and the crew has been given a go for the second major task of EVA number 1, that is the removal and replacement of the Science Instrument Command and Data Handling System that malfunctioned last September, delaying the servicing mission from October to now. That's the next major task, and the work site of choice will be Bay 10 up on the telescope equipment structure above the aft shroud area.
Keep Going down, Megan, another foot.
Copy, a foot down.
It's the view from Drew Feustel's helmet camera, looking at the new SIC and DH. Plan is for him to gather final inspection data, visual inspection data, then close the Bay 10 door.
Adjustable tether. I've got the SCM battery. Stop motion.
Motion stop.
This is the view from John Grunsfeld's helmet camera. He's at the soft capture mechanism position.
Copy, bottom left.
Battery tests are complete, and he's about ready to drive the hex interface to install the SCM.
Alpha 3. Clockwise 3. Clockwise 3. 10.5. 10.5 is set. Okay, John, you're going for 35 turns. You're going to stop on turns. The bolt will free spin. If you could let me know when the FSS LEDs come on about 16 to 19 and the HST LEDs come on about 30 to 35. Wilco. Okay, I've got 2. I can get your tether. Okay, if you can get it. Thank you.
Motion stop.
Copy motion. Okay, Matt, it's put on that time.
Okay, Drew, things may be a little different than what we normally do in the pool, since you've already got the bolts out. You're supposed to give us some words.
Okay.
I think what you will be doing is rotating lever 1 down to a hard stop.
Did that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I stepped on your mask, but I think we agree with you. It looks like we've essentially, we're now able to skip 9 through 14, so you're right. 15 would be the next, which is the lever 1 down to hard stop.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dan. Complete. All right, Drew, you saved us some steps by doing what you did. Let's rotate lever 1 down to the hard stop.
That's done.
Engage the lever 1 locking pin to the green setting.
Okay, green is set.
Okay, Drew, rotate the lock arm into the bathtub.
Okay, and I think once I'm in the green setting, I can remove my tether. We say that? I think we did.
I think we did.
Yep. Okay, rotating down into the bathtub. That's complete.
Rotate lever 2 to 90 degrees.
Lever 2 will interfere with the door handle if I rotate to 90 degrees. It's overshooting it by about 3/4 of an inch. Did you see that in my WVS?
Yeah. How far do you think you can get it?
About 10 degrees from where it is. I mean, okay. Can you see that view of it? Can you point to it, Drew? Hold on. You see that?
Yeah.
Now, if I pull lever, the main handle down, that will pull it away from the door handle, but not a whole lot.
Okay, so you can't get it down any further than what you have there. It looks like it's
I can take it a little further.
45, yeah.
I can take it a little further, but it's not much. I think, if we go to the intermediate on this handle, on the main handle, that gives me a little more clearance, but still it's going to hit.
Okay.
The alternative, Mass, is I can pull it out of the bathtub, set lever 2 at 90, put it back in. Because I think it'll clear if I come in with it already set at 90.
All right, Drew, I'm going to ask the experts on this one. Houston, Atlantis, have you been copying Drew's last few comments on the locks?
Atlantis, Houston, yes, we have, and the last words that Drew had, we agree with that plan.
Okay, so we'll take it out of the bathtub, put the lever 2 to 90 degrees, and then do it again.
Drew Feustel finishing up the installation of the first latch over center kit. John Grunsfeld has finished lubing the plus V2 aft shroud door, moving to plus V3.
I can see it. There are no gaps between the shim and the door bathtub. It looks secure.
Okay, you said fully engaged, assuming that means green setting, correct?
Yes, green setting is confirmed.
Okay, Drew, and we did have a good image as best we can in the dark of the latch. Stand by, we'll try to see if we can get the iris going a little better. Hang on, Drew.
Copy.
This view is from John Grunsfeld's helmet camera. He's finished lubrication on all 3 of the shroud doors that were on the plan for today, and is going to begin some cleanup activity.
New settings for the PGT for 1 turn, Alpha 6, MTL 30.5, just 1 turn.
Alpha 6, 30.5, 1 turn. Drew, did you copy?
Yep. Alpha 6, 30.5 set.
Give it a shot, 1 turn.
Okay, I can, I got 1 turn.
Okay, Houston, we got 1 turn with that. Should we go back to Bravo 4, Alpha 4, or stay here?
It will not turn at any other setting, based on the running torque that I felt.
Do you have a... Do you have anything on it?
It won't turn at the settings that we tried already. That's the only one it's going to turn at. 25 decimal, let's see, 24.9 is the actual showing.
Okay, thanks. That's what I was asking. Houston, Atlantis, you copy Drew seeing 24.9 as his actual torque, which seems like he's going to need to pump it up to that Alpha 6 if he's going to turn it anymore. If you concur, if you got other ideas, we're ready to listen.
Atlantis, Houston, we copy. I think we're done with this bolt. We're now looking at the ASLR install procedure, crib 16-67, Mass.
Yes, I'm on my way.
Copy 16-7. What about the handle? Can Drew finish that off?
It's a day of surprises. Yes, I've got the ASLR. I'm heading back up to Drew.
Copy, John. Thanks.
6 hours, 30 minutes into today's spacewalk, and Mission Control in Houston has given the crew the indication that they're going to stand down on installing any further of the latch over center kits, but the Hubble Space Telescope program does require that the 4 connectors on this aft shroud door all be closed, and since Feustel was unable to re-engage the bolt that was there, John Grunsfeld is retrieving an aft shroud latch repair kit. They will be installing that on the lower middle bolt.
ASLRS installation steps 1 through 5.
Good readback.
Well, we got the Hubble and gave Hubble a hug, but in traditional Hubble fashion, Hubble threw us a few curves, and I think it's really a testament to the whole team on board here, on board Atlantis, and of course on the ground, Tomas, Christie, and everybody else, the Goddard team, that we were able to overcome them, and that we have a Wide Field Camera 3 in the telescope, which will help to unlock the secrets of the universe, and a new scientific instrument command and data handling. Thanks to everybody for all the hard work.
Nice words, John. Thanks.
EV1 going to hardline.
Copy.
EV2 going to hardline.
Anytime, and I'm glad we got that work done. You guys did great.